First, we'll have the approval of June 12th, 2023 minutes. Can I get a second?
Madam Chairman, I'd like to move to approve the minutes.
Okay. It has been motioned and second that we approve the June 12th, 2023 Historic Preservation Board minutes. Roll call, please.
Dan Dodge,
Yes.
Amanda Harvey,
Yes.
Alice McCoy,
Yes.
BJ Laurie,
Yes.
Veronica Gallardo.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay, at this time, we will have public comments. We don't have any guests.
Big crowd.
Speak up now.
So we
Everyone's from class.
will move,
Hello.
Hey.
Thank you for joining us.
we will move to our new business item. First will be our mission statement. And I'll read it, and I know you already. The Crescent City Historic Preservation Board works to preserve the significant historical, cultural, architectural heritage of our city for current and future generations.
I think that's right.
Where are you reading that?
Right here, this is
Because
yours,
it's not that
this is the
same.
agenda,
Yeah, this-
Yeah, but I mean, okay,
and that was the minutes of last meeting.
okay.
Okay.
I have a question. I don't disagree with necessarily with this. I just wonder if it wouldn't be more, user-friendly if we added a little punctuation to it to clarify exactly what it is, because it's awfully wordy to read. I don't disagree with the words, I just think we need to clarify it a little bit.
What are your edits?
Does that make sense?
What are your edits?
I mean, a comma after historical, cultural, and agricultural, or architectural.
Yes.
What do you mean? Yes.
Okay, so my question is, the way it reads, it has to be historical, cultural, architectural. So my question is, does that, whatever we do, have to be everything, or can it be any one of those? So if that's the case, then we would do historical, comma, cultural, comma, or architectural heritage of our city. Does that make sense to
Yeah.
anyone?
Oh, sure,
Yes,
I-
yes,
I
yes,
see what you're
I see,
saying.
yes.
Yeah.
It does definitely jumble up there and kind of all go together. If we did
We don't
historical.
want to scare people.
Yeah, well, it does, historical, cultural, architectural heritage is a really big deal.
Okay.
Yeah, if we did the comma after historical, comma after cultural, and then architectural,
And-
architectural history.
And or.
Heritage.
And
Do we
Well,
wanna
that's
say
what I
and
mean.
or do we?
Or sometimes what we will be
And or.
working on might be just architecturally meaningful, or it might just be a cultural.
Or just
thing.
historical.
So I just, it doesn't have to be all of the above. So if you put,
Historical, comma.
well, just put
Cultural.
or.
Yeah, or.
or
So
art,
just
Just
for
put
or.
or instead of and.
so is that okay with you?
I mean, because if you
Yeah,
go
sure.
back, and correct me if I'm wrong, when you're looking at what determines if something is, meets the qualification for being deemed historic, then it has to meet criteria.
Mhm.
Just because it's old doesn't mean it's necessarily worth protecting. It has to be significant culturally and significant architecturally. So yeah, I would agree with the commas in that or.
Now, do we need to keep those capital, historical?
Me being a newspaper editor says no. Sorry.
Okay,
So,
We can lowercase the h to see the.
should I make a motion to,
yes, can we have a motion, yes?
to,
Motion,
Punctuation.
I move that make the following changes to the suggested mission statement of adding commas after historical, cultural, and as also adding or, and, making historical, cultural, and architectural as well as heritage lowercase.
Second. I'll second that.
Okay. So it has been, motion and second that we make the changes to our mission statement.
Did you find it, Charles?
No, by the way.
Sure you want mine?
No.
There might be one right in front of BJ.
No,
Do we need a second?
Just BJ second.
Okay,
Yes,
so good.
yes.
right.
Well, roll call?
Yes. I was just trying to update,
Did you get all, did you get the,
yes, I got the corrections. BJ Lori,
aye.
Alice McCoy,
Aye.
Jimmy Hardy,
Aye.
Dan Dodge,
Yes.
Ron Glover.
Yes.
So is that adopting it now? Is that, so we made those changes and that's now our mission statement? I'm sorry, I wasn't sure if that was part of the motion.
Make the
We made the
correction.
corrections and then
Make,
do we need to make another motion to adopt that? or-
yeah, do we need to,
They're talking about their mission statement, Charles.
They did the motion including adopting with corrections or?
Yeah, we,
I think
I think
I
we
say adoption with correction, okay, so we need to.
want to just adopt now.
So I move
Just
that
to
we
make sure.
adopt the mission statement for the Historic Preservation Board with the correction.
I'll second.
Okay, Dan Dodge,
Yes.
Jimmy Hardy,
Aye.
Alice McCoy,
Yes.
BJ Lori,
Aye.
Veronica Glover.
Yes. Good job. And next item, general discussion.
Madam Chairman, if I could, maybe, I'm sorry, I haven't been on board as long as everyone else. I know, I don't know if it was Chairman Carmichael that asked for a roll call vote on everything. I mean, we don't really have to do that. I'm just thinking for the, unless it's something big that has to be actually numbered, you could always just call for all those in favor and we could do a voice vote. Just thinking for ease. I think a roll call vote really would just be something that is really important, like passing a conditional use permit or something like that, or something that's somewhat controversial. You could always call for a voice vote, and then if not, we could do a roll call. I just think for the ease of time and for Karen.
It doesn't matter to me anyway.
Okay, but what, I mean, how do we have it designed, Charles? Is there,
I think it's just your preference. I do agree that if you think it might be a split vote, you can keep track of it better with a roll call.
okay,
If it's like a site plan and there didn't come some division. If you just, everybody thinks it's great, all in favor, say aye.
okay,
So
okay,
like that, right there, we could just all sit on it.
okay.
It just makes, I think, a little easier.
All right, everybody else is okay with that?
Yes.
Okay,
I do have something to ask the board. I need, for you all to vote on a vice chair in case Veronica cannot be here. So we need a vice chair for, the Historic Preservation Board. Again, on Thursday, we'll do a vice chair for the planning and zoning. But for today, it's the Historic Preservation Board, and I need a vice chair, please.
We're all fairly new, so it doesn't matter.
I'd be fine doing it.
Okay.
I have parliamentary procedure.
I nominate BJ.
So, yeah.
I'll second it.
okay, okay. It's all in favor?
Aye.
So that you're the chair, but he would be the,
Vice chair,
Mhm.
just in case if she can't make it.
okay.
did want to mention, next month's planning and zoning, Moonshine Acres couldn't make it to time for this Thursday, obviously. So the August meeting will be Moonshine Acres. So if you wanted to have, split the meetings apart again, you might want to consider it for August as well, because that one agenda item will probably take most of the evening
This
for
chapter
the Moonshine.
with Article 10 too, right?
Yeah, it's unlikely we'll get to any, of the land development code that night. I mean, might be, maybe it'll be really quick, but just in the presentation alone, the site plan and discussion, there's probably gonna be residents show up to, with concerns, so, you may wanna schedule a separate meeting for August as well. We thought maybe this might be the last split one, but you may wanna consider August.
I think my motion was to continue having it until we decided otherwise, so. In the last meeting, I believe, that's what it said in the minutes. So I mean, we can just do it on the, I think I specified the Monday, like this week, the Monday of the historic preservation, and then the third Thursday, whatever that is. We could be in three, so it's in the same week.
What date would that be in August? Thank you.
Because now we do have to keep in mind that me and Kim will be going back to work,
Correct.
on the 3rd, so
Alright.
if,
We need to have it at 6 o'clock.
Was not.
Summer time. It would be the
That would be the
15th.
14th.
Yeah.
You'd like to have one of split it, but change the time to 6 o'clock.
We should have the historic meeting at 6 on.
Well,
On the 14th.
14th.
so, and so that's trying to have them, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have it August 14th,
Mhm.
And what time?
6 o'clock.
6 p.m.
6 o'clock, thank you.
Does that work for everybody?
That's fine with me.
And give her time to get
Yeah, you guys.
here, because she be all over.
Madam Chairman, also in the packet, if I may, there was a copy that I had made or found about the small matching grant program. It refers to this last year, but in it, the red arrow points to the fact that says eligible applications were evaluated on a competitive basis by panel experts during a public meeting held September 7th. So we submitted ours, what was it, was June 1st was the deadline, right? Is that when?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so we ours in on June 1st, so we'll know before next year. We should know, they should have one around the same time this year. So in September, I would think that after that, we'll hear what our grading was, or what our eligibility was, or what our score actually is, and how it ranked. And then the other part down there says that, it talks about the funding source, and when I looked into it, the last 4 or 5 years in a row, the legislature has fully funded the grant program. So everyone who applied and qualified got the grant money, so, so I think we should know by September, and I think we should be in the clear, and we'll know, so we should be, at least, we'll know by September, but we also know that we're probably gonna get that money, so. It's not a guaranteed thing, but for the last 5 years, the governor and the legislature has left the money all there, so everyone that applied got their funding, so just, I just found that, I thought that would be interesting, so that we will know ahead of time. We don't have to wait all the way until next year, so.
Okay.
It's interesting, in the grant application, they had me make some revisions and remove any reference to local or national register historic district.
Really?
So we don't fund that research for that, so, okay, we just want to update our survey.
Okay.
I thought that was like,
That is interesting.
it was good to add that, we're looking at a local district. I
Yeah.
hadn't registered in a while. It's strange.
At least they told us, we could go back and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They're just kicking it out, yeah, that was good.
the other, you said everybody got the requirements for the CLG, right? I sent that last month when we were sitting here in the meeting, I sent it to you.
Yeah, okay, nice.
And then forward it to everybody. I don't know if anyone got a chance to look over that. It is a lengthy process, and there is a lot of very specific requirements in it. I know that's something that we had talked about, or the city commissioner talked about last year, was possibly getting a historic consultant, or historic preservation consultant to help with that. I don't know if there's gonna be funds for that. It would make me more at ease if we did have a professional helping us instead of us trying to go out alone. I just think because there's a lot of, the legal requirements that have to be put in there. I mean, we can meet the requirements of the state CLG certification and get it, but if there's something in there that's not quite, legally tested properly or something like that, we might run into problems in the future. And the only reason I bring that up is because we have the historic preservation ordinance that was passed, in 2018. And then looking through some other stuff, I found some additions to the LTC that have been made as well at the same time, which really changed and expanded upon the historic preservation ordinance and was different than what we've had and been operating with. I didn't think it really mattered because we're making new ones, and the new one is great, but it's just something to think about. I think we really it'd be a lot easier and definitely more advisable, I think, to get a professional consultant. I don't know what that would cost, but I think we might want to look into it. Because I just think that's the kind of thing, once you start becoming, we become a CLG and we start dealing with certificates of appropriateness and all that kind of stuff, we want to make sure that we're operating normally, we're operating within the law, I guess. We don't want to have to wait until someone sues us. So I'm not sure what, I guess we can wait and see if the budget has money in it for a consultant possibly.
We can, also Lupita, has offered to help us with that as part of our continuing services agreement. Right now, that contract is kind of helping with the land development code update, which we're well beyond the scope of that contract. So our monthly contract is helping pay for that, supplement that. Once we wrap that up, then I can just ask them to take us through the CLG certification. She's knowledgeable in that and is offering to do that. So, right now, I think for this year, it'd be too much of a burden on the budget, but I think I've added some more money just for our contractual agreement with them, and we could just ask them to do that as part of their continuing services.
That's great, because I think that would put me at ease at least with having a professional know, how to do it. And we can always take someone else's ordinance and adapt it for ours, but I just like to have a professional looking at it.
Yeah, I agree. And Charles, I assume then, you've already, in the future, are considering additional funds for other work, and this would be included?
Yeah, what we have is, in that budget, we had land development code update line, which is just about depleted.
Sure.
Then we have the contractual services, which is basically our just monthly planning services. And that's an hourly, contract. And then we had, the other thing in there was just, Unicode, wasn't it? Codifying, which is complete also. So what I've done is, I've added more money just to the contractual services, to try to not only anticipate, the construction of Moonshine Landing. We'll have to do, inspections and so forth, anything non-building related out there, we'll get billed. We can pass that along. But something like this, we could have them take this on and just add it to that monthly bill. So it would allow for that. I don't know what that.
So it would be within your proposed budget?
Yeah, I think I only added about $10,000. I'm gonna have to touch base with them and say, how many hours do you think it would take you to get us through certification and make application, and then make sure that's in that budget.
Fair enough.
Other than we gotta do an RFP and
Yeah, sure, yeah.
It just, makes the process a little so. And we've worked well with her, and
yeah.
we've had a good working relationship so far.
She'll be here Thursday to present again, and Mark Corrett will also be staffing that meeting this Thursday. So if any of you haven't met him, you'll meet him. He's the senior planner, the planning director.
So you'll move this request forward, or how do you have?
Yeah, it's already included in the.
Great,
in the
thank
plans.
you.
That's all I have.
That's good.
I would like to, establish a standard agenda for us each meeting, just to simplify things. And so, I think that, there's some things that we should discuss in each meeting. By my notes. So they would be, city codes, recommendations for historic, structures. The middle school,
So you're saying that at every meeting that we,
I think that they should be on each meeting's agenda. However, there may be nothing to talk about for a particular item.
well, that would fall upon the general discussion, like if we bring it up, you know.
But I think that these are important issues that we need to put lists so that we consider them each meeting. For instance, the middle school, by the way, board goes.
So I'm understanding that if, like right now, there is something put in place that if you don't get something on the agenda by a certain date, it doesn't get on the agenda. So if you're just putting it as a normal item, the topic, then it would be on the agenda, whether or not there's anything to talk about that particular meeting about that, it would still be on the agenda. Is that correct? Is that what you're asking for?
Yes. And it
You could
reminds
take
us,
action.
pardon?
You could take action if it was an agenda item, or if you just brought it up that night, you would have to request that to be put on the agenda so the public could.
So having it just as a standard item on the agenda, just like approving the minutes.
Exactly.
Then we can just talk about it at any time, is that what?
Yeah, we'll have the option,
Mhm.
or the option not to.
So can I clarify something? So currently, right now, as far as, and we probably, and this is probably in our meeting, until we get to be a certified board, the things that we have the, ability to move on. So like if we're talking about these things, like the middle school or what have you, it's just making sure we're keeping those ideas fresh and I'm trying to understand.
Yes, that's right. And the other important issue is that we may have an opinion, and we may want to express that opinion. We may not have the power to do anything, but we do have the power to suggest, to make other people aware. So I think that, again, I think it's important. It gives us a voice.
Okay.
I mean, let's face it, there hasn't been much of a voice on this commission previously. How recent did this commission start meeting?
Preservation board,
Yeah,
3 months?
months, yeah.
yeah, so we're starting from scratch.
Right, that is correct, yeah.
And so I'm just trying to establish some rules.
Mhm.
Alright, I see that, sounds like it.
Yeah, I do understand what you're saying.
It sounds like a good organizational item. What, do
So
you
like
have a
last
list
time,
you want
yeah,
us to
like
go
we had all
by?
this stuff the last time, you want to just put that?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I mean, certainly grants,
Yeah, and I
grants are,
we got the mission statement figured out, so we got that's done.
So can clear this up for me too, like we did in the last meeting, we did land use and zoning maps. That kind of overlaps with what we're doing in the planning and zoning, so is that something that we keep on our agenda as well as it relates to this story? And this is just pairing it up for me.
Sure, I think what he's asking for is you go down and say, planning and zoning, and you say, we have nothing today. Next one is, recommendation of historic properties. So today, I think we ought to consider 123 Apple Street.
Gotcha. So not necessarily what he has here, but things that.
Some list of standard discussion items to go along, and maybe no report, or maybe, yeah, we got a couple things that have come out.
Do you have that suggested? Do you have?
I'm open for all of us to add to
Well,
it.
just like you said, the recommendation of historic, you know,
Preservation.
site.
Exactly, yeah.
So I wanted to, for her to be able to put, Kara to be able to put it in the minutes. Do you have the way we should do it, or do you want us, tell me what your thoughts are?
Well, he has on here new historical recommendations / nominations, so that can be, I
That's
think
good.
that will be on there.
And the middle,
Correct.
the middle's
Correct.
The inventory of condemned properties.
we don't have to talk about that every time.
Well, I think it's the status,
Might just say nothing,
yeah.
no new permits or anything.
Okay. Miller School.
Oh, I see, just take these.
Uh-huh.
That's what-
And then, you can add,
Right,
you know, or
status,
something.
right, architectural site guidelines.
Yeah.
Building permits.
So should we just use that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm fine with it.
Karen, you have it, don't you?
Yeah, that'll make it easy for her, but you just have to
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
copy and paste like this global paper.
Efficiency, well, like that.
No, Ms. Robert, it's just changing the date.
Oh, no, it's excellent, yeah.
And we can always amend it and change it, but that sounds like a good way to start. Do we need to make a motion to adopt that, or?
I make a motion that we, use a standard agenda for the historic preservation meeting.
I'll say, or BJ.
Okay, it's been motion and second that we, have a standard, agenda for our historic preservation board meetings.
And should we add, which one are we using from the last meeting? The agenda from the,
It looks like all of it. Basically.
yeah,
And items that was on, June tenth, preservation board meeting agenda. June 12th. June 12th.
All those people might not really get it.
You want me to roll call, you're gonna do all eyes?
All in favor, say aye.
I,
It's good, it's good.
and Charles, is there any update on the inventory of condemned properties?
No changes since the last time. We did, request the commission approval to abate the property, the old church that burned down.
Oh, yes,
Yeah, they approved that. We haven't started the process. We have to get a court order and so forth, but.
Yeah.
The one on South Prospect Extension, I think there was one on that South Prospect Extension.
A demolition permit?
No, yes, isn't that what,
A condemned, it was a condemned
Condemned.
structure.
what happens on that? I mean, what happens to it? Is it just, when it's condemned, is there a certain deadline that somebody owns that has to do something about it?
I have to find out I'm not familiar with what our procedure is. It's the building official that condemns it. And then puts a sticker on there, then they have to meet whatever his criteria was, if they want to get that removed.
But if it stays condemned, if the owner doesn't do anything right now, we're not doing anything about it, right? I mean,
Currently, we aren't,
like.
and I'll have to find out with Cam what our options are.
All the neighbors are asking about it.
Which one are you talking? Oh, that house, that little bungalow that's down in there.
All these really nice houses around it, and that guy built that really nice house on
Yeah.
the lake. And it's really, they're all so close in there, there's creatures,
Yeah. It once was a cute little house.
I know.
It's too bad.
Let me ask Cam.
That's the one I think you said that the family's all in a
Disagreement?
disagreement about,
Yeah.
That happens a lot, if you have heirs, if someone passed away and you have 5 children or something, then call. nobody quite wants to take care of it, but nobody wants to do anything about it. A lot of properties, you'll see a lot of the tax deeds and stuff like that don't pay their property taxes for years because it's 6 or 7
I wonder if
years.
the property taxes are paid on.
If Pam's still here, I'll come in, tell us the status of it.
They're not address.
Any news on, or update on the New Moon Lodge?
Just, keep it cut and we're fundraising
So the bottom line is
And,
you're waiting for money.
and we're
Well,
waiting
we're
for
gonna
money.
submit an application for ARPA, city ARPA funds
Oh,
to do
good.
the architectural.
Oh, that's right, yes, yeah,
Yeah, then we'll be able
Yeah.
to, so we're just,
good.
getting as much money as we can and whatever.
What's the timeframe on that?
The deadline is the end of this month, 28th.
Oh,
So
so
August.
that's coming upon us.
Yeah, the August
Yeah.
meeting, we'll have a list for the commission to approve.
Oh, good, good,
Have
exciting.
you come to the Rotary and spoken about the Newman Lodge?
No,
I just invited you.
He invited me to come.
I've got it down twice.
Oh, so we would both love to have.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, I've got it down twice this year.
Oh, good.
Yes, yeah.
Did Sheree send you that letter from that HS?
Yes, I
That's
just
one.
read it in commission.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure. There was miscommunication between her and I.
So those funds would, really be available anytime. What we're gonna probably ask for is a not to exceed $50,000 or something, and then just put it out for RFQ for
For the architect.
the architect, and then we'll negotiate and see what the price comes in at. And I had an architect tell me you can expect it to be 8% of construction. So even $500,000 to fix that building up, the plans ought to be about $40,000, so. Yeah, we'll see how it comes out, how it works out.
Say, that's how we'll be able to move once, we get that. 'Cause I was
Jethro.
thinking-
Jethro Baptist is also applying.
Mhm.
And I'm a little concerned, they were talking about the need to be tented first, which I agree, but I'm trying to get them to go ahead and apply for everything,
Everything around there,
all the work.
right,
And even if we have to do kind of because of our deadline, it's almost like gonna be like a promissory note or like a not to exceed, to grant them a grant pending the total, cost. I think everyone's gonna be struggling with getting the cost together, bids and the scope of work and all that kind of stuff. So I think we're just not gonna make the deadline, so we maybe just encumber the money to cover everybody and see how it shakes out as they submit, yeah. Other than say, you're just too late.
yeah, I did speak with Pastor Washington, and I will speak with him again.
I don't know, all the work, anything, we understand they'll need to tend it first and then proceed, but I'd like
Okay,
them to know that we get it all rolled into one.
okay, yeah, I will call him, later on tomorrow.
Charles, do you have architectural firms in mind? I know you have.
The only two that have responded in the past are out of Palaca. One is, on St. John CRG, they did some work, they designed, this building, remodeled this building. And the other firm is Robert Taylor. We contracted with them to do the ambulance station, which we didn't end up doing. But neither one of them, I think, are specialized in historic preservation necessarily.
Well, I know Rick, not that I hired him on a job, Rick Gonzalez, who was president of Florida Historical Preservation. And he also was one of the lead architect on the Bellevue Biltmore when they were, trying to tear it down and so forth. So he would know. I'm sure
We're
somebody.
gonna have to reach out. There's a company called Latitudes, they're in Palaca and St. Augustine. They do a lot of work in St. Augustine on the old structures there.
Oh, terrific.
They're preservationists. They came and actually looked at the lodge for us. I'm gonna see if they work with any architects. I think we really need somebody who's got a lot of experience redeveloping old historic structures, it's not just an architect, but, really, I'm just taking this all down.
Well, and that's what Rick's firm does, but he's in West Palm Beach, so
Yeah.
obviously.
There's
some
guys
local-
in San Alex team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's,
I think, Pam was saying.
Oh, Pam.
Her question, you can answer.
I see, I
Yeah, a little house, you go on South Prospect that's condemned down the little single lane road.
Yes.
Can you give us an update on that? What happens with that? It's condemned, so now
It's been condemned for a few years. The house has never been probated, so the two entities are,
don't agree.
don't agree. The one, people were paying the taxes on it, but,
How did it come about to be condemned? Did someone call the building official there?
I did.
Yeah, you did that.
I called.
Protected.
Is there any, teeth in saying it's condemned? I mean,
It's not
they don't
supposed to
live
be.
here, they don't care,
It's not supposed to be occupied.
What's our process? Can we force it?
We could ask the city attorney to look into it and, go to court and have it torn down.
just like the church, like the abatement there.
Or the structure that was across from me in South Main.
Somebody bought that, I think.
Yeah, that was-
Yeah, they bought it and tore it down, but, I was there a year. So this is the dangerous part. All these, homeless people were using it. And a lot of kids were using it. And structurally, it could easily have collapsed. I went over and looked at it and I wouldn't go in it because, you could see that structurally it was a disaster, a danger point. But all these people going in it. And what happened was that there was a lot of crime in the area because of it.
Right.
You had to chain everything or lock it up. As soon as that building came down, all that went away with it.
Right.
So since then, there hasn't been, hardly any crime at all. Or these homeless people, milling around in everyone's yard, because that was what they were using as a home. That is greatly reduced.
It would take a court order for us to demolish it.
Yes.
That one's so out of sight, out of mind, tucked down in the woods and just, unless you drive down that one lane road, look off, you won't see it's there.
What's the address?
515, South Prospect.
Oh, so it's okay, I never remember.
So the neighbors are fortunate that it hasn't been discovered.
Yeah, yeah.
But once it's discovered, it's like a magnet.
Yeah.
And then it will really be a problem.
There have been people living in a tent on the porch there
Oh, well, yeah.
years ago.
Let's go ahead and take action on that.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Let's go ahead and take action on that, whatever we need to do.
It's such a nice little neighborhood in there.
Because they're all very
Do you have
close.
do you have a lien on that?
Yes,
There is a lien on it?
yes. We don't care who owns the property, we need it anyway.
And is it worth saving?
I don't think it is.
And they paid the property.
It's crumbling, isn't it?
I think years ago
The
it
back porch
certainly
is
was, but I think
But
we're
it's
past.
gone past, yeah.
It's crumbling.
The property taxes are paid, so.
Thank you.
You know, it is.
That's it, yeah.
That was, that's what it's saying.
I think so, yeah.
You want
Should I
more?
say?
I don't know, Al, do we have any more discussion that may involve code enforcement or?
Well, do you have any concerns that you want to bring to our attention? You don't have to answer, it's just a curious.
I'll see, you caught me off guard. I have lots of concerns.
I was like, that was gonna be a hard question.
Yeah, it's just a nice thing to do, you do.
I mean, we have other condemned properties that are, dilapidated and the one on, Huntington, 1132 Huntington.
And then there's the few of them right behind City Hall, isn't there, a few blocks back? The one that doesn't have any walls, that's just holding up a roof.
Oh, that one's been condemned too.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
that's, that,
He has a
Have you
building
all been in touch with him?
yes,
Okay,
I took him to the code enforcement board. He renewed his permit, which should expire any day now, if he hasn't done anything to renew it. They're good for 180 days, the
He keeps
permit.
an active building permit on it, so
Right.
it's not.
yeah, unfortunately,
Yeah.
well, yeah, but, and I know, yeah, unfortunately, he was in a car accident, and it's really,
Oh, yeah.
been affecting him to be able to work,
Recently?
no, not recently, but it hasn't been here, but that's what, cause I talked to him a while back myself about it. And he was like, cause he really was trying to hire somebody to help him, finish the building.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not really too.
Yeah, he was in that, accident and it kind of like put him in.
Is he still struggling because of it?
Yeah, and he goes there and try, because him and I had a conversation about it. We did, him and I, asked him what was, and this been probably about 3 months ago. So, him and I talked about it.
What are your thoughts that should be done at this point with it?
I would hope that he could, it could be restored, that, I really wish he could,
Was it a building that was, that was torn down or partially?
no, that's the house he went and,
I don't see no walls, I didn't know. if that was-
right, cause he probably tore a little, if you don't know, more out, but he was trying to, redo it, like, reframe, everything, trying to, redo the house.
Yeah, if I remember, he put up new wall studs, probably headers.
Yeah,
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 then it just stopped.
yeah. Cause he even asked the guy across the street from me that reframing the house on the corner by the center, if he could actually, help him, get it done. He went by there and spoke with him. And, which, he had a slow, cause it was something that he found when he, in there, so he's, had to go back and get a permit to reconstruct some stuff too. When he got in there, he said, yeah,
I
But it
haven't,
sounds like he's not gonna renew the permit.
oh, I don't know, I'll try to contact him, but,
I haven't checked.
yeah,
It's gonna be good until the end of July, so
yeah,
1st of August, I'll check the computer. It's a web-based.
yeah.
And
But
I can check.
I did speak with him and he, so.
Okay, well, maybe he renewed that. I don't know. I haven't checked today.
And while we have you here,
Yes?
you've transferred, or you started using a new program, correct?
Yes.
For all that, and that's helping you track everything and be able to keep up with open cases and liens and stuff like that? And it's all, is that something that's accessible to the public?
No.
No, just,
So would,
Myself, Charles, and Karen have access to it.
are this-
so would the grant be able to help him out? What he
He's in the
has,
CRA.
huh?
He's in the CRA.
Okay, I would try to contact him so he could, I used to go get my hair done in the house when I was a little girl. That was so, Miss Chris, she owned the house, she was a hairdresser, so that was one in the other house right there, so.
Is he hoping to restore it as a residence?
Yes, that's his plan, yes,
He lives in Palaca right now.
so, yeah. Yeah, in fact, I seen him the other day in passing,
Oh, I can't think of his name.
huh?
I can't think of his name.
Terrence, not Homo, that's his brother, what's his name? His dad name is Floyd, last name Morris, I can't, no, Floyd's son. It is Terrence, his name is Terrence, yeah, Terrence.
Yeah,
His son is
Senior.
Terrence.
But I don't know his
Senior.
last name.
His son is Junior, yeah.
I don't know his
Terrence.
last name.
Morris,
Right. Okay.
yeah, Terrence Morris,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so I'll see, I have his daughter phone number and I'll see if I can get it and contact him.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so. No, if there's nothing else, this meeting is adjourned.
Nice seeing everyone.
You as well.